So basically what we are going to do today is have a look at Unreal Engine, see what we can do. I have nothing planned. Currently, I don't have anything in mind to do. So if you're a beginner and you have never used Unreal Engine, it's your chance to see the engine, to see the potential, see what we can do with it. And I will actually rely on you guys. I mean, if anyone has any ideas for us to do. So here is the chance to share your idea and let's do this, let's do that and see how it goes. So before getting started, I want to do a brief introduction about myself. Most of you knows who am I and knows me very, very well. I know I have a lot of friends who follows me. So for those who don't know who I am, I'm Bedia Agrisa. I'm a software engineer and I have almost 4 years of experience in Unreal Engine, working professionally for companies. So I initially started working with Unity and for my first job, I started using Unreal Engine and then I liked the engine so much, so I went deep and I tried to understand more how to do things. And I'm currently on a path to, let's say, to try and help people to use or utilize software engineering skills with blueprints. So that's what I want to teach people how to use or how to do. Yeah, maybe something worth mentioning. I recently got my silver badge from Unreal Engine, so I am an authorized Unreal Engine instructor. Yeah, so that's all about me. I believe let's just start and see how it goes from there. All right, so before doing anything, let me just open this. Have this in the other. Okay, this. Now I believe I need this one. I need to switch. Okay, just give me 1 second. I need to set up my screen correctly. Okay, I believe this is good. This is in the right position, except this one is not. Yeah, this should be just fine. All right, so let me first of all do this. If you have never installed Unreal Engine, the first step that you need to do is to have Epic Game Launcher, and you can download it from, have a browser here, so you can download it. For example, just look for Epic Games, not game, and once you open the link, all you need to do is to download the launcher, and you will have to make an account. So that will allow you to access the engine. Okay. All right. Supposedly you got your Epic Games installed on your machine. So the first thing that you need to do is basically go to where it says Unreal Engine section, and you don't have anything in the library. So I have a lot of projects and a lot of things that I've been working on, but you won't have any of this. What you need to do is to first click the plus mark, or you probably find it in here. It will say install Unreal Engine. And I would actually recommend to use the version that I will be using. Just for the fact, in case any feature changes or any update happens in the engine in the future reference, you would be always to make exactly what I'm doing, or you will be always able to follow up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch my Unreal Engine. If you don't have Unreal Engine installed, you can pause the video if you're watching the video later, you can pause it and get back when you have Unreal Engine installed. So what I'm going to do is launch Unreal Engine, and it's going to take some time depending on your machine. So let's see how long that takes. Okay, not too much actually. All right, let's wait for it to compile shaders and initialize the launcher of the engine. So this wouldn't open like the actual engine, but the launcher for you to select these initial screens. Like for example, if you're willing to either open one of the previous projects, basically if you're new, you won't have any of those. But if you just installed the engine, you would have for sure those sections. And we can go over them really quick. So if you're willing to create a game, you need to go to this tab and select games, and you have different templates that you can start from. So from first person shooter, third person, and top down. This is an AR. If you have like one of virtual reality headsets, you can use this template. And vehicle, if you're willing to make any kind of, let's say, racing games. Okay. If you're into film and videos, I believe, and live events, you would basically like go to this section and go select whatever works for you. So motion design and display, virtual production, DMX, whatever it is. If you're into architecture, you would basically, most of people use Unreal Engine with ArchViz. So maybe you want to have an ArchViz project, or maybe you want to make like a design configuration or configurator, collaborator, collab view. So this is, let's say, a project where you have multiple people where you can collaborate together. It doesn't mean that other templates doesn't offer that, but this has more of settings that are designed for architecture. Same goes for automotive. If you want to make anything like automotive related, or let's say product manufacturing. So if you have a product that you want to showcase it, it's a good, let's say, template to start with. And finally, you have simulation. So simulation have a lot of features. I believe they added like flying simulation, but I'm not sure because I can't find that. Maybe it's this one. I'm not sure. Okay, so our interest would be in games. So basically what I'm thinking is probably that we either start with third person or we start with first person. So, I believe let's start with third person because, yeah, we can then include both of them together. All right, so I will name my project, let me just think of a name. Okay, random stuff, because I have nothing in mind currently, so I will call it just random stuff. And yeah, let's do create. Don't forget to select the path of the project. And yeah, it's going to take small time to render and compile shaders. Then it will open. So what you have here is basically something that you can play with. So whatever you have here is something working, or at least for a base template, this thing work. So the first intuition or the first reflex someone would do when this starts, you would see a play button. So yeah, let's hit play and see what happens. Oh, look at that. We have an engine. We have a character that is ready, and I can look around. I can use WASD to move. I can basically jump, and that's all. I can interact with those boxes. And when I say interact, doesn't necessarily mean that I'm able to lift them or grab them or let's say explode them, but basically I can push them, and I'm pushing them with my body, and this is physics-based interaction. So currently we have like something that we can start with. So yeah. All right. So let's have a look of what is going on in here. And what are the most important things that you need to learn when first jumping into Unreal, and what are the things that you should understand and how they works. So first thing, there is this main video or main frame, and this is called the viewport, and this is basically the world of your game. And if you want like to move around in this world, all you have to do is hold right click and move with WASD, and this will allow you to move freely. You can also use E and Q for going up and down. Okay, so there is a different way to move around, which is holding the left click. If you hold the left click and push it forward, it will move forward, and if you hold the left click and move it backward, it will move backward. And if you're just willing to look around, you can just hold the right click and look with the mouse, and I mean rotate the mouse and you will see the word. Okay, let's see what the middle mouse does. Is basically the same as the left click when you hold it, but except it goes up and down. And it's the same as pushing like the left and right together at the same time. Okay, so as I was saying, whatever you have in your scene or in your game, this is like the 3D scene or the viewport, where every actor, and by actor I mean object or anything you want to place in your game, you will see it in here. Okay, if you want to have like more of a hierarchical preview, so you need to see the outliner. Let me remove that so you don't guys get confused. You need to see the outliner, and the outliner will have every single object that exists in here, but this is like in, let's say, in folder view. So you can check like, for example, this static mesh cube, which is this one. So I selected it from here, or you can also select things like from here. I select that one, and it seems that it's called SM Cube 8. I just remembered something very quick. So when you initially start Unreal Engine, you would basically won't have the same layout. So you would most likely have a layout like this. And I'm personally coming from Unreal Engine 4. I'm used to the Unreal Engine 4 layout. So what I usually do is change the layout to match the Unreal 4 one. And that's always up to you. Like if you want to keep this layout, if it works for you, I can show you like around so you know where everything is. So this is like you have still the viewport in here, and the outliner is on the right side, and if you click it will just expand and show, and if you go in here it will just hide. Okay, if you want to change the layout, you should go to window and load layout and use Unreal Engine classic layout. Okay, so I usually switch between layouts using F10, so you can try that and maybe it would make your life very easy. Okay, so this is the viewport, this is the outliner, and the outliner has everything that is in your scene. So you might be wondering, if I want to add something to the project, where should I look for? And the answer to that is you need to look for the content browser, and if you don't have that open, probably because you have the other layout. So if you have this layout, all you need to do is control space. It will open that. And if you want, you can dock it to the layout. For some reason that didn't work. So this is a bug. Yeah. Woohoo! We encountered the first bug of Unreal Engine. That is nice. So that's another reason why I always prefer this layout over the other layout. Okay, so this is, as I was saying, your content browser, and it have every single asset that you may use or you want to add in your project. So, and that includes like maps, if you have maps, assets, textures, sounds, everything you would find in here. And like this will represent the folder hierarchy that you have in your project. Okay. So, yeah, let me just go over here and then show the rest of it. Now, most of people used to modify, let's say, assets using this pivot that shows in here, and you can like simply, if you select it and just hold on one of the axes, it will just move that object or that asset in that axis. Okay, so supposedly you want to move it in two axes at the same time. So I wanted to move on the X and Y. I should use that plane, and that would allow me to move it on both axes at the same time. And let's suppose I want to move it on all the axes. I need to hold the dot. That dot, or let's say sphere, would allow me to go up and down, move here, up, yeah, allow me to go in all directions at once. But it's really hard to manipulate because you don't really know if you want like to just take it up. Is it just right here, or is it moving here, or is it here? So personally, I would always prefer to go for either two at the same time or just one, because it helps me better replace things. Okay, now the next thing you may need to do is rotation. So if you're willing to rotate, it will rotate like any object you have. And all I did is pressed E, so you can simply switch between those using Q, W, E, R. So this will allow you to go from select objects, translate, rotate, and scale. So those are mostly the things that you want to do in Unreal Engine. So yeah, here you have it. Okay, now something worth mentioning: when rotating, you will always rotate according to the pivot. So my pivot is not in the middle of the center of the object. It's actually in the corner. So whenever I'm willing to rotate, it would always rotate along that pivot, as you can see. And this is helpful, especially like when the cases, if let's say you have a door and you need to have your door to open just on that specific axis. Yeah, let's maybe simulate this and make it look like a door. So let's do something like this, make it extremely small, and maybe something like that. Yeah, and here we have it. We have a door now. So if I do this, it looks like the motion of opening a door. Yeah. Yeah. Something more like this. I guess this would make more sense because you don't have this kind of rotation doors where this goes inside the mesh. So it's basically rotates this side to this side. Okay. Now, supposedly you have more things that you need to modify. Like for example, I want to change the static image. I want to use something different. Let's say I want to use, I don't know, maybe this filled arrow, or I want to use this radial disk. Yeah, or I don't know. I want to use this sphere. This looks actually nice. So yeah, supposedly you want to change the mesh, so you change it from here, or you can simply just drag something from the control drawer to the word. Okay, so I won't save anything, but what I will be doing is actually importing a game asset, which is very important, or adding a feature content back. And what I want to add is the started content because it has a lot of features that we can use. So let me add that. It shouldn't take much time. And we have it in here. And let me just open that and show you what we have. So I will go to the starter map level. I won't save anything because I want to keep this level as it is. And let's see what we have here. So currently we're still compiling shaders. So if you have like your textures a little wonky and looking like the word grid, so just wait a little bit. You are most likely preparing or compiling shaders, so give it a minute or two and it will be fine. Okay. And I believe it's done. Okay, I believe, yeah, let's hit play and look around and see what is going on. So we still have the same character, and we can move around in here and see those multiple things that we can use. So for example, this is the clay brick beveled, clay brick new, clay brick old. Yeah, I think we should change those. Stone brick neon, and this one is not really visible for me, I guess. I can't really see it. Yeah. So we have all these things that we can use to design our level. From concrete, batter, clay, all the kind of tiling, water. So the water is not really interactive with the player, so it doesn't show waves or anything, but it is helpful to set up something that would look nice far from the distance. And you have this mesh also, hex tiles, this hex tile, checker dots, sandstone, polished marble, and those are all the kind of wood that you can use, and those are all the kind of materials that you can basically use as well. Okay, those are the moss, let's say gravel or gravel and grass. But also we have those two particles. So we have fire and sparks, and those are also ready to use. I see there is like a small glass window, let's say, or door, and that's all. And we have smoke here, two kind of smokes actually. one that looks um, a little white, and the other one looks like a little bit dirty. Okay. So this pack has a lot of things that we can use and would help us a lot, especially in the prototyping phase, and to see how things would look like. And yeah, so that's something that we can really use. And what you can do is simply just go in here. For example, I'm liking the material of the water, but I think I can change it and tweak it to make it look a little better. So supposedly I will go in here, and I'm liking the water material, so it opened in a different it opened in a different window. And I think personally that the water should let the rays go through. So I will do the emissiveness. Yeah, I will do the translucent, and yeah, this should be like that. I don't think it should be masked, because this would give me an opacity mask, and if I do this, for example, .3, it wouldn't really work. I think so. I don't think that would really work. Let's increase it a little bit. Yeah, it's not really working because masked, not something you can use with surfaces, basically, or maybe I'm not sure how to use it. So it's usually the way to use it is with changing the blend mode to translucent, and that way we can control the opacity as we want. And usually let's use something like this. It will give our water like something that makes more sense, if you know what I mean. So basically, if I take this and duplicate it, put it just below the water, I kind of see what I'm doing. Let me do this to avoid the clipping, and maybe do something like this. Increase it a little bit more. Yeah, maybe. Not really better, but basically the water is not this color that is completely opaque, but it has some level of translucency. Try to increase the value as much as I can. This would be very this would look far better if we have like a landscape and we're using like a lake or something like that. Okay, so what should we do next? Okay, so first thing, let me first of all open or start a new map or start a new level. And do I need it to be open world? No, I'm basically prototyping things, so I will use the basic template. I don't need to save anything, and I will get this to where it was. So when we can use it, you can use it that way. All right, so when starting a basic new map, so I selected the template because it comes with the floor and all of those lighting settings, so I don't need to configure or add any of those. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually to remove this, and I will create something, let's say with the modeling tool. Yeah, and I will be using cube grid, and yeah, let's do something a little funny. Maybe do like this, 4,000 by 1,000. Okay, I need to make accept for that one. And where is it? I can't see anything. Okay, let's do that again. Do this. I do accept, nothing happens. And why is that? Do this again. Oh, okay. So the way that works is basically by modifying the existing. Okay, so just let me start this from scratch. Let's suppose we are going to do this. I will go even smaller this time. Yeah, maybe something like that. Let's do a poll. So we have, let's say, I think something like that would make more sense. Okay. So let me do accept on that one, and I think let me move it, or I can keep it that way. No need for me to move it down. Okay. So let's see whether, oh, it comes with collision, so that's good. All right, so going back to the modeling tool, I will try to do like a small path from here. So let's do push, 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 push. It's not really ideal to use this. So the best way to do that is basically, instead of doing that, I need to select that one and do maybe poly edit, I believe. Yeah, poly edit will be good. And let me select that one. I want to cut it and make some sort of path. You know what? I'm going back to the mesh. Or where was that? Yeah, I'm going back to the grid cube because it is helpful when I'm selecting like something like this, and I can create a path really easy. If I do that, let's do something like that. Yeah, let's do somewhere to jump here. Okay, let's do maybe let's do something from here. And let's do a platform in here. And let's do something like that. And I don't have anything in mind yet. I'm just thinking maybe we can have the character go this path, jump the first jump, and then jump the second jump. And maybe he finds out that he can go this way, so he should go back and choose a different path. So let's make him a different path, maybe from here. Yeah, maybe from there. Oh, let's do something like this. Oops. Let me go back in there. Oh, what am I doing? I need to do pull. So pull, then maybe there is a lever in here. So let me do that. There is a lever. This platform, basically. Let's do it from here. Pull, pull, pull. Something like this. Yeah. Yeah, once we reach this lever, maybe another path from here would unlock and it would allow us to go to this platform. Let's do maybe something like this. Pull. And we can have maybe some platform that goes up and down. And don't really worry about the height of those ones. So I will change those. I will change those very soon. And the last thing is I would have something that takes me there. So let's do yeah, maybe you can do a different lever in here. So I can open a different lever. That. And then I know this is not. Oh, wait. This should be removed because we need to change this into a platform. Okay. So what if I select this? G4 model mesh. Okay. Oh, so the only issue with this is that it made every it made a mesh, like it made it combined, so it's using all the same thing at the same time. So maybe it would be ideal to separate those. I need to find the right tool to do that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We're just having yeah, basic idea. So then we can change these to something that make more sense. But I still need to do modification on that. Pivot, duplicate, pick, convert, split. By mesh, by topology, by vertex overlap, I believe. Yeah, this makes sense. What was this? So yeah, I really like this. By polygroup. No, this wouldn't make more sense. So I'm going to split this so I can later have everything moved on its own. So let me split. Now if I am able, I can select this individually and I need to edit the pivot. So it should be not there, but in the bottom of the mesh. And that way it would be easier for us to modify everything. So can I do multiple? I'm not sure if I can do multiple. So this one is there, that one. I need to accept for this one. And then basically do each. Or let me try. Actually select all of them and see whether I can do bottom. Let's see. Oh yeah, never mind. Just took like the middle part between all of them and tried to put that in the intersecting point. So we do it one at a time, it's fine. Edit. So I believe bottom. Where was that? Okay. Cancel. This was okay, and this. Oh, I think I pressed. Back, front. Where did it go earlier? Yeah, it's fine. For that one, we can just keep it in the word origin. But for those, we need to make sure that it's always the bottom center of the mesh. Bottom. Also edit that one to be in the bottom. And finally, this one should be bottom. Okay. So I was saying, wait, why the pivot is there? That is correct. I think I did not change for this one. So, and now we have it. So let me make those up maybe by 100 and see how it goes. Okay. Wait, I'm a little confused now. Okay. So those are up and basically let's try and see what is going on. So now you might think, oh, let's try to go this path. And we can go this way. And we can jump. But that one is far, it is unreachable. We cannot reach there. So you might think, yeah, let's try another path. And we go in here. And then once we are here, we can open a lever. And that lever would make like an escalator maybe, or an elevator that would help us go up. Okay. Now, I'm also thinking we need to find a way to make the player actually go in this path first, and then this path, and then go that path. Because, like, I know we can leave this path empty, but if he goes here, nothing happens. Okay? So we need to give him like a hint that he need to make this platform move, and we need to give him another hint that a lever there would make that platform move, go up and down. And we also don't want the player to, when it starts, just look at here and says, yeah, let me go just to this path and let me just finish the game very quickly. Okay. So I still don't have in mind like an idea about this platform. This would be like the end or the result. So this is the goal that we want to reach. And yeah, maybe we need like some sort of key to allow the player to be able to go in here. So what I'm going to do is basically cut this platform in here, and we make some sort of panel maybe in here. So yeah, let me go about that. I think I need to, yeah, I'm always confused trying to find that one. Okay, in here. So let's make this as if this is the panel that you need to interact with to make this path go. And okay, we need that in there. And I also need to make like a very small modification. And that should be on the poly cut. I want to do a cut. Maybe like that. But it should be 90-degree angle. I want to cut. Okay, I'm a little confused because the tool is not really showing me. I believe this is good, but you know what? Personally, I believe it is better to use it like this, and I think all I need to do is can I actually modify those? Let me maybe. Okay. Okay, it will move the entire thing, and this is not something that we need. But I think the best way to do this is actually to make the cut and cancel or fully cut, plain cut. Yeah, I guess this is more helpful because this shows where I have to cut. Keep both halves. So I only need like a very small portion to be cut. So supposedly I will cut maybe, why is it negative number? Let's do maybe 600 by 600. Okay, so I want to see what I'm cutting exactly. I do 600. Oh, that's the position. Okay. So let's keep both halves. And yeah, let's just do the cut and see how it goes. So basically what I have now, this part and this section, I can connect. Need to also cut these two sections. Okay, so basically what I need to do is 90 degrees. Oh yeah, it's a plain cut. And let me do this first. and do a 90-degree angle. Do something like this. Then keep both halves. That way we can have this and this. So I'm thinking to join those together again. And I think I can do this. Mesh cut, it's not mesh cut. Mirror boolean deform merge. Okay, so like this basically. And now I have one single mesh like it was earlier. And this is a different mesh. Okay. So one more thing. See that we can make like some sort of, yeah, first of all, let me make this word origin, and this should go to bottom part. Okay, so we can make the platform rotates like this, and once we get the panel, it will give us the path. So that way we know that now we are able or maybe I'm having a different idea. What if we make this physics based and it has like something in the middle just to keep it steady, and if you jump on top of this part, it will just go like this and make a fall. Yeah, we can do that basically. For now, we'll keep it simple and I will do something like this, maybe either like this or like this. Yeah, I'm liking this idea. Let's keep it that way. And once we get this panel, it will allow us to open that. Okay. And then this should go up and down. And the goal is to go in here. So just trying to think and see how we can make like, this is very interesting that this is the goal. This is what you should reach. And yeah, we can make something very small in here. So let me just add a basic shape. I will go with a small cube and in there, but I will make it very, very small. I'll go with something like that. That one. And that one. Maybe I will make it a little bigger just to look like a card maybe. So this should be basically the first objective. I need to get that card. Then this card should be inserted in here. So let's see if we can do something about that. Okay, so let me select this. I think it's the grid tool again. Yeah, the grid tool. And I guess I can make the current blocks smaller. So let's do maybe something like let's do 10. 10 would be nice. Let's do a slot to insert the card. I believe this is good enough. Cool. I think I will get it back in there. It's another pull. Another pull. And the final one in here. And then maybe and push that. That might look like a card slot. Yeah. Okay, and once we push that, accept that, and go in here, let's make some sort of lever. So, be something like this, maybe, or maybe bigger. Pull, 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 push. And yeah, let me just add a lever in here. So that way, I guess we can use the arrow. Yeah, exactly what we need. Looks just like a lever. Okay, let me make it very small. So it should be static mesh. Yeah, let's do maybe 8 here. And the height be fairly small. I guess 15 is good. Yeah. And the shaft height should be maybe 20. Maybe 30. Yeah. And the radius should be fairly small. So we can do something like 4. And this should be something like 6 maybe? Okay. It's getting there. It is getting there, definitely. Let's try to... Maybe let me change the grid size so I can... Oh, perfect. That is perfect. I will increase the height a little bit. Need it to go something like that, maybe. And this should go fairly small. Make it look like a small pin. So let's do maybe 3. And I guess for the radius, let's do something like 4.4. Shouldn't that big. I think we can increase a little bit more the size. And probably we can rotate it. And now we have a lever. Look at that. Alright, we have a lever there, and once we hit that lever, it should make this platform move. And then when we hit that platform, we'll be able to make another lever in here. So let me just trace that. Pull, 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 push. Get this. Except, first of all, trying to move this around just to be actually, let me try something really quick and see whether this would be helpful. If I do Is it saving the same exact settings? Oh, it is. Oh, it is. Yeah, I believe it was unnecessary for me to just get that one, because I simply can do something like this. And look at that, we have two levers. Okay, this is going well so far. And once we hit this lever, maybe you get like another platform or something happens, I don't know. Maybe a platform that is in here that's just invisible start to be visible, and once I jump on that platform, it will just let's say throw me towards that direction. So yeah, that would be a great idea to do. So we have first objective, pick up this item. Second objective is insert in here. And third objective, open this lever. Third objective, open this lever. And then jump to reach the goal. So jump on this platform. So let me make that platform basically. I'm thinking we can make oh, actually this is a very good idea. What I'm thinking of is once we press this lever, this would rotate, like the entire thing will start to rotate. We make maybe larger steps. So maybe 12. And increase this a little bit more. So let's do maybe 45. And we can, I'm actually thinking of making this like far higher. So 40. 40 looks too high. 30 maybe? Yeah, 30 looks nice. Okay. I'm actually thinking of having this in reverse. So instead of having it that way, we have it this way. And the entire platform flips. I think I'm trying to find like the correct idea for this. But yeah, let's try something different. I will do it like this. And let's do, yeah, this will look perfect. It's not noticeable. It's an inverted ladder. Yeah, I guess that looks good. Hmm. Can I merge those? Yeah, I think I can. Let me find the tool. Oh, find the tool. Let's merge them. Okay. I'm really liking this. Okay. So when we hit the lever, this would rotate and become something like this. And then maybe, oh yeah, this is the platform. The platform is here. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So let me join. Um, yeah, for now it's fine. Let's keep it that way. But this should be a child of that. So there is no way for us to move in here unless this platform moves. And once this platform moves, we find the thingy that will throw us in here, and that way we reach our goal. So that is the idea. Okay, so how about we make some systems? Yeah, I don't see that I have a lot of time to do things now, but yeah, I'm thinking let's do this, make this move, and yeah, then see what we can do from there. All right, so I'm going to create, yeah, it's fine, let's call it blueprint. It's not really the way to do it, but yeah. You know what? It's time. Let's call it core. And what we are doing here is a gameplay maybe system or a gameplay element. Gameplay element. And this gameplay element is platform that goes up and down. So BP platform it's fine, let's call it just platform. Then if there is anything, we'll change that. So is there a way to add that one? Oh, so what I need to do is actually to add a plane or a cube. I think it would be ideal to make it cube. And yeah. So let's see. If I'm correct, this probably should be 48. Yep. It is 48. Just to make sure. Oh, it's inside. Snapping a little bit. So let me just do this. Try to find the exact value. Is it 50? Yeah, it is 50. So the box is 100 and I'm moving it by half that value. Okay. So let's think of this. I need to make, yeah, let's call this, first of all, platform. Platform. Let me make this bigger. And then I will go to the construction script and try to write values that I want that box to be. So, first of all, I will make scale. And this should be like in meters. So, for example, if I want, I don't know, if you want it to be 100 by 100 by 100, now it will keep the same exact scale. So this would be equal to 1, 1, 1. But if we want anything different than that, so for example, let's say we needed 50 by 50, we should use like a percentage ratio based on that. Okay, so let's take this. First of all, I want to make it visible, and I'm going to call it config. I'm going to assign it to a category called config. And I want to make this instance editable, blueprint read only, and I want it to be private. I'm not sure if I want to expose it on spawn currently because that's not necessary, but yeah, it's fine. Okay, so if I do 100, so yeah, I wanted to make divide, and this should be converted to float. If I do 100, this would basically give us exactly the scale that we are looking for. Okay. And yeah, I think I know where this is going. So I need to make set scale, but I need to change the relative scale. Because I don't want it to affect the word. And the other thing that I need to do is set relative location to break to basically z on a half by 2, half the z. And that way I can always keep my box. Yeah, I need to make this go only to z. Okay, so let's see what we got, because I think I failed in explaining this. Okay, so I'm basically here trying to scale the box or the platform to look like an actual platform, and this would be very helpful to do it from here. So for example, let's say I need a box that is 50 by 50. So if I do 50, oh, it's going even more. So I need to switch my logic a little bit. It's actually the reverse instead of okay. Yeah, let me do this. Divide double precision by 100. This should make more sense. Okay. Yeah, now the box looks even smaller. So this makes more sense. Let's say I want my box to look 200 by, I don't know, maybe another 200. And then I wanted to make it fairly small. See? This is where it's going exactly. And I'm making sure that the pivot is always in contact with the ground. So let's see. I believe this platform is around 3 blocks, so it's pretty obvious that it's 3 blocks. So it's 300 by 300. And let's do it there. We'll try to put it on top. So maybe I can do something like this, but no, I don't like it. The best approach is to do that. Actually, let's save the map. So let's make the level, or I mean here, you're always free to do whatever you want, whether to call it maps or level. I'll call it maps. And I will call my new level l.prototype. Okay. All right. So, what do I need to do next? I need to make the platform move when I get on top of it. So let's first of all make it move, then we can see how to make it move when I'm on top only. Okay. So the next thing that I need to do, I mean, it's ideal to make like the target point, because in the end, it's either I move it. Is it best to move the entire platform? I think yes. I think it's better to move the entire thing. So let's do okay. So let's add another variable, and this should be the target destination. I think on destination would make more sense. Destination. Let's add it to the config. Should be instance editable, read only, and I want to show the widget, and I want it to be private. Okay, and I want to make another variable, call it initial position, but this one I want it to be private. And when the begin place starts, this should be filled with the correct value, so we don't accidentally keep on filling that one many times. Okay, actually, we do this and get towards position or location vector. I believe get vector location. So when this starts, I will get the actor location and keep it in there. Okay. And let's see. Can I see that one? Okay, it's in there. I will actually select that widget, which is the destination, and I want to move it up in a way that it matches this. See, maybe something like this. But let's do 1600. Yeah, and I'm happy with that value. Okay, so that is our destination, and this is the starting position. Okay, so cell position, destination. think it would make more sense if I call this location instead of destination. I call it target location. Okay, what we are going to do next? Now we are going to make some sort of cycle thing. So to make it go up and down in a certain duration and stay up for a while and then start going down. So I will do this, and I need to promote to a variable called time, and this should be set to here. Okay, time should be private and should be under something called cycle. Now I will make two variables. So the first one is going to be instance editable and read only, and this is the travel duration, and this should be the wait duration, and those will simply like represent how much it takes to go from like the initial location to the target location, and the wait duration, how long it should wait in each position. So supposedly the wait duration is, I'll make like random variables, something like this, and travel duration maybe something like this. And you can always play around with those values because why not? Travel duration, and the other one should be also like this, and should be under cycle. Now what I need to do first, I'm going to make a function where it actually tests whether we are going in the right direction. And what I mean by that, I'm going to make initially like 3 states. Those states are going to be enumerators. So let's start by making that. And don't worry about the organization. We can organize everything later. So we call it E set, or let's call it elevator status. Okay. And we would have basically 4 status, and I usually make one more. So I call the first one none. I usually don't use it, but just in case we have a status called none, and then I will start by wait down, and then the next one would be going up, and the next one should be wait up, and finally going down. Okay, so by default, okay. So let's add that status, current status, because who knows, maybe we need to have a target status, the elevator status. Do something like this. Let's do it under cycle. Okay. And what I'm going to do is expand this, and as long as this is different from none, do that. If it is none, don't even run the tick. So this will save us a lot in performance. Okay. Now let me do this and function. Let's call it one cycle. And this should basically hold the logic for us. So switch. I will switch on this. Okay. I will switch here. And supposedly I'm in going down. Okay. Supposedly I'm in the way down. If I'm in the way down, I wouldn't do anything unless the time ends. So I'll make another variable called let's do it like this, duration, and okay, and let's do fixed time bound. I would add another function. Let me call this fixed time bound, and this basically what it will do, it will check if the time is greater or equal to duration. Okay, where is duration and status and duration? Take this just near the time. Time is greater or equal to duration. What we need to do here is basically okay, so if the time is greater than duration, then we need to make the time equal to duration. Run the cycle, then reset the time. Return. That's basically what you need to do. If the time is greater than duration, good. And basically here I need to create, we need to set the next status. And do this, but I'm going to convert this into a function to get the next status. Get next status, and this should be pure. Okay, return status, something like this. Now instead of doing that, I need to get the current status, and I need to get, and I believe elevator, which elevator status? Yep, I need to get that. So if what I need to do is to convert this to byte plus 1. And if, let's say, if this is equal to the number of entries, then just return the weight down. Else, just going to do this one. And what this basically do is to check what status we're in, and if we are in let's say in the weight down, so it will add 1, then add 1, then add 1, and here it's the 4th index. If we go +1, it will give us the number of entries. So we are here, we should go back to the very first one. So that's how the cycle goes. And I don't want it to go back to weight to none, because the none will be used differently. We can use this when we want the platform to not move unless something happens. So this basically it. This should have the correct logic. And now we need to make this just works. So, okay. So what I need to do is basically, I make another function. Let's call it move to. I will call it move to, and I will give it a vector parameter. Okay. Should be passed by reference just to avoid having like issues with creating multiple variables on the heap. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is very simple. Is basically something like this. So set vector location. This will set the word location to this move to function. Okay. Now I'm going back to the run cycle, and in our cycle we have two things that should work or should make the platform move, which is going up or going down. So going up, okay, I need to make like a lerp node. Wait, I need to make move. Need to call this function. I'm going to use lerp vector, and I should basically lerp yeah, I should lerp from initial to target location. And just give me 1 second, I will add the alpha. So we can create the alpha here. So let's make this the alpha. And the alpha would be set in here and then here. And this should be the very last thing. So what value should the alpha take? And here it would be very simple, like from going up, should take the time divided by the duration. And that's all. But if we are going down, we can use the same value for now, but we need to transform it one more time. So this should be minus and 1 minus. And why is that? Because we wanted to start, instead of starting from 0 and going up, we wanted to start from 1 and going down. So this time divided by duration, it will always give us like a range between 0 and 1. And for the going up, we need the alpha to go from 0 to 1. And from the going down, we are just doing a negate here. And this would allow us to have the value going from 1 to 0. And that's all we need basically. Then we connect that here and we call the return node. I will call it also in here. I'm sure this wouldn't do anything. And yeah, I will go back to time bound and I need to modify the duration. To change in here to get the new value. So the duration should take switch. I believe it's select. Select. Based on the current status, should either go travel duration or wait duration. This should be here. This should be here. Make it like this. And finally, I will do something, the very last thing, which is let's call it init. So we call this init function in the begin play, but later when we need to have a different logic for it, we will have it. Okay, so, or let's call it something different because we might use this later. So can we maybe say allow or start cycle? Yeah, start cycle seems fair. So let's do start cycle. And basically what this will do is change the status to way down, or maybe to going up. Then set the duration to travel duration. And that's all. Return. And I'm going to make all my variables or all my functions private because I don't want those functions to be called from outside. Let's make sure this is working. If not, let's debug it. It's a chance to do that. And if everything goes well, then I think it won't work now because I did not call the start cycle. Let me call the start cycle here. Or maybe let's do some sort of delay. I don't really like using delays, but just for the case of this test, let's do it just to make sure that it doesn't start working and it starts after some. So, the moment of truth. This is here. Let's go in there and see whether that works. And look at that. For some reason, it's going to a different location. And I think I know why. Simply because the relative location and the actor word location are not the same. So I need to make small conversion, which is I guess I can change it really simply or really simple. Instead of doing that, I can give it just the location of this, get location. And I believe instead of moving the entire thing, would only platform, which is not ideal in here. So it's fine, we have something to debug for the next time. And we have something to fix, which is good. So all I need to do is to change this. Instead of moving the entire thing, I just set relative location. Let's do that. And we'll keep this here on the side because we need to use this instead in the future. So when we open the project later on, we know. Let's run that again. Now it should go position. Go up. It's going way up for some reason. Even though this is here. So basically 0, 50. Okay. I'm just actually curious to see where this goes. Very funny. I guess we got our first bug. Is it still going? I believe it's still going. Yep, it's still going up. That is very funny. Okay, so the issue here is that when running this cycle, it was always going up. So nothing made it change. And this is why fixed time bounds was never called. So if we called again, this will make it go as planned. Okay, let's see. And it stopped there. Okay, I believe that's fair enough. So I guess we can stop in here and we can continue this the next time. So yeah, let me just change this. All right, thank you guys for watching. I hope this was like very helpful and did help everyone to understand a little bit about Unreal Engine and maybe get a little bit, I don't know, of courage or give you like, I don't know, maybe it will give you the chance to start, or it encourage you to start building your own game, because it's not that hard to do that. And yeah, so